My name is Andy Dio. I'm the Vice President at Marketing at Saratech. I'm your host. Also co-hosting with me today is Nika Nami. You all have received emails from her. She will be monitoring the chat room and questions. So if you have any question at any time during this event, go ahead and type it in the chat box. I'd like to introduce today's presenters. Our keynote speaker is Aditya Gurushankar of Siemens Siemens DISW. Aditya is the manager of Solid Edge Planning and Strategy. Also from Siemens today is Jeff Walker. Jeff is the director of Solid Edge products at Siemens. And for those of you who are Saratech customers, you probably recognize these talented individuals. We have Jason West, Senior Technical Manager at Saratech, and Mark Anderson, Senior Application Engineer at Saratech, and Jaime Solano. Jaime is the PLM Application Engineer. We have a packed agenda today. There are tons of information to share with you about Solid Edge 2023. Aditya will highlight new features in Solid Edge 2023. Then we'll take a deep dive into Solid Edge Design Configurator with Jason. Mark will then show you how to boost Solid Edge manufacturing capabilities with CamPro. And Jaime will walk you through how to take data management to the next level with Teamcenter for Solid Edge. We will also have a roundtable session. We will have a Q&A at the end of each session, but you will have a chance to ask questions in the Solid Edge roundtable as well. We've had some previous questions that came in before today's event, so we'll address those at the roundtable. But the roundtable is a chance for you to ask directly to the Solid Edge team about product information, things that you have questions you always want to ask, so please take advantage of that. And again, if you want to ask questions, just type it in your chat box at any time during the presentation. Before we move on to our keynote speaker today, I just want to take a second to talk to you about Saratech. Some of you may not know who we are or haven't, talked to us in a while. The Saratech team is a dedicated group of engineering professionals who focuses on helping customers with product development. We are an engineering company. So our team have years of experience working with companies of all sizes and industry. And we actually use the tools and the software that we sell and support, like Solid Edge, for production work while employing industry best practices and methodologies. So if you have any questions about product development, not just with Solid Edge, but with anything else, feel free to contact us and we'll be able to help you with that. So with that, I am going to transfer the presentation over to our keynote speaker, Aditya Gurushankar.
Welcome to Solid Edge 2023. My name is Aditya Gurushankar. I am the manager of Solid Edge Planning and Strategy for Siemens DISW Mainstream Engineering Group. My team and I, we work with customers and internal stakeholders, business folks, to define all new projects that go into the Solid Edge portfolio. So I'm here representing our R&D team and also the Solid Edge business team. And I'm very happy to be meeting with you all virtually in this case. But I hope you're able to connect and make the most of this session. And thanks to Saratech for giving us this opportunity. We're really excited to showcase the latest release, Solid Edge 2023. So let's get going. Before we get started, let's spend a few minutes bringing you up to date on Siemens digital industry strategy and the key role Solid Edge plays in it. There's a lot of discussion these days about digital transformation. What is this transformation? Auto companies calling themselves mobility companies, commercial aircraft companies becoming air transport companies. There's a lot of disruption in the business arena these days. So some companies want us to help them build new business models. Others are asking us to manage their software deployments. It is really important that companies consider digital transformation, because honestly, those who don't do that risk getting left behind. But what does digital transformation really mean for small and mid-sized businesses, which the SolidEdge team addresses in a key manner? Industry analyst IDC recently did a survey where the focus was SMB manufacturing and digital transformation in particular. They surveyed hundreds of SMBs around the world, asking them about digital transformation, their strategies, plans, and recent progress. Importantly, 72% of advanced SMBs surveyed believe that digital transformation helps level the playing field for small businesses versus their larger competitors. So clearly, digital transformation is a key part of the go-forward strategy for many SMBs. Second, the survey asked about technology priorities. Cloud computing and software as a service, or SaaS as it's called, really stood out. Nearly a third of SMB manufacturers surveyed said they were prioritizing cloud computing or software as a service solutions. And nearly half said that these categories would be a technology priority in the next 12 months. IDC notes that the cloud is a great enabler for collaboration and analytics. I think that's a great way to put it, because it's not about the cloud itself, but what you gain from it, and collaboration is the key. So let's look at a customer leveraging powerful cloud collaboration tools for meaningful impact. Harsh International are manufacturers of farm machinery and industrial equipment and hydraulic hoists. Harsh is using new capabilities provided by SolidEdge SaaS, short for software as a service, as I said, to collaborate more effectively and reduce their design and development time by as much as 80%. 80% reduction in design and development time, that is something that SolidEdge SaaS can definitely enable. Let's take a look at their journey.
Harsh International is a manufacturing company in northern Colorado. We manufacture everything from livestock equipment to hydraulic truck equipment.
Bob came to me with the idea to create a larger hoist, but one that doesn't have the cylinders swinging underneath the truck.
With Accelerator Share, we could click on it, send it to Bob. It didn't matter if it was over the weekend or he might have been in the office next door looking at it.
Those guys would be able to pull it up on their computer and just take a look at everything and say, this part could be a little bit different. And I was able to just bounce back those ideas really fast between all of us.
The need for people to be in the same room is not near as important as it was before. Now it's on a computer, knows exactly what needs to be done. As soon as they complete it, you see the result of that right there on the drawing, the 3D solid model I'm looking at. The time you spend addressing that issue is dramatically reduced. Being able to take that hoist from conception to fruition and then on to production in something in the range of 3 to 4 months was awesome. Hitting that market as fast as you can means taking advantage of that market as quickly as you can. That's what Share has done for us.
That was a great explanation of what customers are doing with SolidEdge SaaS. We love helping companies like Harsh succeed with their digital transformation, and Siemens is committed to that mission. The investment Siemens has made over the last several years has just been phenomenal. You can see on the slide here, there's a list of companies that we bought into the digital industry software portfolio. We've literally invested more than $10 billion over the last several years, and we've become one of the largest and most successful software companies in the world. Not just an engineering company, but one of the most successful software companies. In fact, Siemens ranks among the top 10 largest software companies in the world. So really, we are committed to providing you the best software solutions and engineering solutions in the world. The result of all this investment is Accelerator. It's a catalyst for the digital enterprise. Accelerator is our comprehensive, integrated portfolio of software, services, and an application development platform. Portfolio accelerates the transformation of businesses into digital enterprises and unlocks powerful industrial network effects. As a key part of the Siemens Accelerator portfolio, you can think of SolidEdge as your on-ramp to the digital transformation. Focused on the requirements of small and mid-sized manufacturers, SolidEdge enables manufacturers to create a comprehensive digital twin of their products and includes solutions for mechanical design, electrical design, simulation, manufacturing, and publications. It also includes solutions for data management for all the technical data that is created and consumed when creating and supporting this digital twin. It facilitates collaboration both within manufacturing companies and with external resources, including suppliers and customers. So SolidEdge is your on-ramp to digital transformation. And guess what? SolidEdge assists in digital transformation for companies of all sizes. Here you see an image from Chantier de l'Atlantique. They're designers and manufacturers of some of the largest cruise ships in the world. To them, communication and collaboration turn complex design concepts into competitive advantage for building the largest cruise ships in the world. Now it's time to share some of the great functionality we have with SolidEdge 2023. Let's create, connect, and collaborate. Our featured customer for this year's release is Yanu. Yanu is an Estonia-based company founded in 2019, and the images you're looking at are fully autonomous bartending robots leveraging AI technology. It serves drinks, handles payments, identifies and communicates with clients, contactless, hygienic, and highly efficient bartenders, you could say. The release of 2023, we continue to push the solid boundaries of product development, leveraging the comprehensive digital twin. With exciting new capabilities such as simplified modeling workflows, value-based licensing, SolidEdge SaaS, improved interoperability, SolidEdge Inspector, Kanban boards, and literally hundreds more. I'd say SolidEdge is one of our best releases yet. Customers who got a chance to preview SolidEdge 23 have some comments about it. Francisco at Fiorini was really impressed by our focus on daily workflows, and Zohar is excited about being able to work easier and faster. I hope that is available to all of you on this call. SolidEdge SaaS includes next-generation cloud-based technologies, specifically designed to help our customers collaborate with colleagues, partners, and customers in a secure environment. And there are many other benefits that come with SolidEdge SaaS. Let's break it down. First of all, SolidEdge will always be the heart of your product development process with its powerful CAD and manufacturing preparation capabilities. But there's a new way to consume SolidEdge called SaaS, or Software as a Service. It includes all the things you love about SolidEdge, but so much more. So first, data management and security, the ability to have your data securely stored in the cloud and share with others. Augmented reality, the ability to look at your product in the context of the real world. Collaboration, everybody working from a single source of truth, and they can share that data. And when they can share that data, they can effectively communicate. Mobility, anywhere, anytime, any device access to your data. And finally, value-based licensing. Get the features you need when you need them. Choose the add-on capabilities you want with instant access to tools like Generative Design Pro, Point Cloud Visualization, and SolidEdge Electrical Routing. We'll talk more about the broad range of capabilities you get with SolidEdge SaaS in a second. Right now, let's focus on some of the great project management and research tools that are part of SolidEdge SaaS. Collaborating with colleagues, partners, and customers has never been easier with new productivity and collaboration tools and Accelerator Share for SolidEdge 2023. The new modern dashboard helps users understand the status of the project deliverables immediately via the Accelerator Share homepage. Collaboration and project management is simplified with the introduction of Kanban boards. This intuitive tracking process helps visualize work and maximize efficiency by displaying projects and tasks as easy to understand cards that are organized into user-defined columns. The boards, which can be used on any device, are a helpful tool during team meetings to manage project progress. Adjustments can be made to a project or a task simply by a drag and drop interaction. Also, shared search functionality have been improved to help make you sure you find the right file every time. It's great to see that modern dashboard has helped that helps users understand the status of the projects at a glance. We love the Kanban boards. They're really so easy to keep track of things and just drag and drop to change project status. A new shopping style search lets you browse your data like you do with shopping websites using filtering and other capabilities. But with common properties like file name, file type, owner, date modified, and more, it's really a productive way to find and look at your data. Because Solid Edge SaaS leverages accelerator share technology, it offers integration with a wide range of Solid Edge and other Siemens products. Over 2,000 software subscriptions, including several in Solid Edge portfolio, are now integrated with Solid Edge with accelerator share. This enables increased cross-domain and cross-supply chain collaboration. The benefits of accelerator share grow with each additional subscription. The base plan includes 500 gigabytes of storage, and each additional subscription increases online storage by 5 gigabytes. And right in the core of your daily work, you're going to find some great productivity improvements. We've used some great lessons learned with synchronous technology and brought those into the ordered and history-based modeling workflows. We revamped the Solid Edge user experience and put the tools right at your fingertips. Let's take a look. So Solid Edge 2023 delivers enhanced workflows, promoting greater performance and increased productivity. All commands and environments have been refreshed and now provide an easier to use, modern, clean look and feel. But still, the Solid Edge you know and love remains at the core. Following the introduction of the context toolbar in Solid Edge 2022, we have now expanded the capabilities into the part, sheet metal, and assembly environments, providing high-frequency object-specific commands at the tip of the user's cursor, improving productivity. Focusing on the RoboArm will complete the design of a new glass holder. The material addition and removal workflows have now been combined into a single command. Also new is the introduction of automatic regions in ordered sketching. This speeds the process of sketching as it eliminates the need to trim sketch elements and project face edges. Closed areas are simply found automatically, and as can be seen here, as we add and remove material with a single extrude command. Notice too the use of the context toolbar, meaning that all these commands are at your fingertips. Changing an extruded feature to a cut couldn't be any simpler. Just edit the feature and change the options. When adding features, the spacebar can be used as a quick toggle to switch between add and remove. Solid Edge 2023 also speeds up the process of direct editing in an ordered model by introducing synchronous capabilities in the move, rotate, and offset face commands. Here, the steering wheel is used to easily define the move and rotate directions, and design intent rules can be used to control the movement of other faces in the model. Here we can see this as we adjust these two cylindrical faces and toggle the concentric options on and off. One final alteration on this part is to add an angle to the side faces by using the rotate command. The enhanced workflow makes this a breeze. Since this is an ordered model, the move and rotate features are captured in the Pathfinder and can be edited later. The hole feature capabilities have also been expanded and now have support for standard fit class tolerances for hole, countersink, and counterport type of holes. These conform to ANSI, ISO, and DIN standards, and support for unit tolerance has also been included. Solid Edge 2023 also introduces a new library of high-quality face styles, which consist of many common categories containing thousands of different styles, ranging from additive manufacturing, coatings, fabrics, plastics, metals, and many more. They can simply be dragged and dropped onto the desired parts to easily add realism to any design. There have also been several improvements to assembly features with the addition of new commands such as subtract, slot, union, and swept cutout. In this case, we'll add a swept cutout to document a routed path through two wooden plinths at the top of the design. The workflow is the same as it is in the part environment, but with the additional step of choosing the parts to cut. Finally, there are new workflows to explore and visualize internal components of any design with the new Visual Explode command. Definitely one of my favorite things in Solid Edge 2023. Simply drag the slider bar to dynamically explode the parts on screen, then drag it back to collapse the parts back into space. There is also a stepwise option which intelligently explodes the subassemblies in sequence and provides additional ways to visualize the design. Solid Edge 2023 continues to keep Solid Edge at the forefront of 3D CAD and stay ahead of the curve, thanks to increased core CAD performance, new and improved workflows, promoting productivity gains, and the continuous implementation of user-requested features and functions. It's exciting to see some of the great new technology from Synchronous has been moved into the ordered or history-based environment, increasing productivity while speeding onboarding for first-time users. Regions are just a huge productivity saver, as is the ability to just drag and drop and define add versus cut feature interactions. And finally, having true synchronous style edits in ordered modeling workflow is just a game changer. Now, ordered direct modeling commands such as move and rotate make use of signature synchronous steering wheel to drastically improve the ability to edit ordered models. Here we have some positive feedback from our customer, Jan Boss at GEHA. Continuing in mechanical design, in addition to bringing some of the great technology of synchronous into ordered, we've also revamped the user interface to be fresher and more productive. A clean, modern presentation of a command's options allow users to discover the capabilities of each command more intuitively and quickly. Similar to the presentation styles of many other computer CAD solutions, the vertical command bar allows users to adopt Solid Edge more quickly, leading to faster onboarding for new users and increased satisfaction and lower cost of training. We've also brought the new commands closer to the action. The context toolbar pops up the highest frequency object-specific commands right to the user's cursor. With command options available right at the point of focus, mouse travel is minimized, improving productivity and streamlining the user experience. Here, one of our longtime users, Mirko Markovic from Kaser, immediately saw the value of the new UI, noting that they can work more intuitively and efficiently. And like I said, Visual Explode, it's just amazing. I love the staged mode where it does sub-assemblies first and then explodes down to the levels. It's great stuff. Should give it a shot. We also continue to build out our automated assembly tools by allowing users to capture common relationships and quickly replay them in new assemblies, as well as many other daily workflow and productivity enhancements. Again, more positive feedback from Jan at GEHA, and he's really excited about the new assigned capture fit functionality in Solid Edge. We showed you the new capabilities to apply visual styles and materials in Solid Edge. This has been a collaboration across various parts of Siemens and to deliver not only very useful, but consistent styles across the products. And it's as simple as dragging and dropping them onto your model. Next, let's look at some interoperability enhancements. The new interoperability enhancements unlock the power of your design data while future-proofing your work. Transfer Solid Edge data to and from the Accelerator portfolio of products, including NX and Process Simulate easily and accurately. Solid Edge 2023 is now even more tightly integrated with other downstream processes and now can transfer assembly kinematic information to applications such as NX and Process Simulate in order to perform further dynamic studies or operations. In this example, you'll see how we can save time and minimize errors by transferring the motion kinematics of this robot arm from Solid Edge to Siemens Process Simulate. Starting in the Siemens Solid Edge motion, in the Solid Edge motion environment, we'll make sure the kinematics are properly defined by selecting all the parts and then choosing which ones are moving or fixed. This creates the 7 needed joints to replicate the 7-axis Panda robot. Once this is done, the motion of the robot can be verified by running the basic simulation. Once the Solid Edge model is ready, can be exported complete with all appropriate kinematic information and subsequently opened in Process Simulate. Once in Process Simulate, we can see that by using the joint jog option, all the relevant kinematics are present without having to do any additional manual prep work. The kinematic information of all joints can be viewed by setting the model scope and using the kinematic editor. Here, kinematic relations are used to define the model and simulate the reach movement. You can also see that all the joints are correctly connected with each other in the sequence that was defined in Solid Edge. The movement can then be defined in the tool center point frame using inverse kinematic movements, which are calculated automatically. Finally, we can simulate the action of a robot and see the exact movement needed to make our brink of choice. Solid Edge 2023 increases productivity by providing even closer interoperability and integration with other Siemens portfolio products, such as Process Simulate and NX Mechatronics Concept Designer. So obviously, we've done a lot of work, technical work here to enable exchanging important design information like joints, couplers, lengths, and rigid bodies into other applications. The real benefit for you is what it enables, and that is a broader access to the Siemens accelerator portfolio. For example, for process verification using Technomatics Process Simulate, or for true virtual commissioning with NX Mechanical Concept Designer. This seamless integration provides a whole new world of possibilities via Accelerator. But we didn't stop with joints and kinematics. Material and physical properties assigned in Solid Edge are now seamlessly translated to NX. Again, this opens a huge range of Accelerator options by providing consistent data for CAE or inspection applications. Enhanced PMI transfer capabilities include section and model views and the ability to associate sketch and section view dimensions to a design body. This enhances interoperability with NX-CAM, NX-CMM, and other validation tools downstream. And we continue to build out CAD Direct. In addition to NX parts, you can now insert SolidWorks, JT, STEP, and Parasolid files, both part and assemblies, into Solid Edge assembly directly without the need for files created by translation. CAD Direct makes working and collaborating with partners, suppliers, and even other departments of your company easier than before by supporting multiple file types without the need for everyone to use the same modeling system. A great feature for this is that the solid bodies and surfaces can be inserted in the form of internal components. This means you don't have to have any other files to keep track of because all the parts are contained directly in the assembly. A great way to manage supplier data for sure. Next, we'll jump to model-based definition, where we leverage design and manufacturing intent seamlessly. Model-based definition enhancements give you the tools to capture design and manufacturing intent faster and easier than ever before. Solid Edge Advanced PMI delivers high-quality, consistent dimensioning for downstream PMI applications. Let's take a look. Solid Edge 2023 provides new advanced PMI and model-based definition capabilities, allowing users to detail 3D models faster and easier than ever before, and to seamlessly share 3D model intelligence for downstream manufacturing processes and other relevant stakeholders. With new Solid Edge PMI Advanced, this is the capability to automatically arrange dimensions on a 3D model with a couple of clicks. Simply select the dimensions and arrange them stacked or chained. If the dimensions need to be arranged with respect to a smaller area of the model, there is arrange to area option, which makes this task very easy. This part lacks the necessary dimensions for the size and location of some of the holes. The new auto dimension capability takes care of this with ease. All we need to do is select the primary, secondary, and tertiary datum planes, select the features to be auto dimensions, or even just auto dimension the whole model. With support for faces, cylinders, holes, it's never been easier to save time and dimensioning your model. We can even define tolerances to be automatically added to each dimension. The new model view palette allows for fast interaction with model views and displays easy to understand thumbnail images, which are directly derived from the model view themselves. Model views can be navigated by clicking on the images or using the arrow keys. It's also easy to create new views directly from the palette. We can more easily add notes to the model views, and these notes can include model properties like the latest revision of the part in this example. There's also an option to keep the text parallel to the screen. The creation of drawings is a breeze through the new model view palette. A right mouse click and selecting the template is all it takes to create a drawing. The same model view palette can also be used in the draft environment, where we use it to bring in the front view and use the alignment function to ensure it's in the right place. The fit class and tolerance of holes can now be easily retrieved and callouts. Also, the ability to modify the color of cut faces on section views means it is easier to differentiate internal details of a model and communicate necessary product manufacturing information. The center axis annotation, now supported for appropriate geometry types, gives users a quicker way to add the desired PMI information to their models. And section view dimensions and sketches are now associated to the design body, making it easier to use them in downstream processes. The copy to PMI workflow has also been improved. Now, when copying selected 2D annotations and dimensions from a profile-based feature or sketch, once they become 3D dimensions, they are now automatically connected to the corresponding model faces. Selecting the PMI will highlight the associated faces, as you can see here. Solid Edge model-based definition allows designers to publish all this product information for use in downstream processes. This process is simple and easy, and the published process creates a high-quality 3D PDF, which contains all the chosen model views and supports full view manipulation. Assembly documents can also contain a fully interactive bill of materials, and so much more. In summary, Solid Edge 2023 advanced PMI and model-based definition capabilities provide new, streamlined tools to detail 3D models easier than ever before, and to seamlessly share 3D model intelligence for downstream manufacturing processes and to other relevant stakeholders. I think it's truly important how we are moving the intelligence out of the drawing and directly into the model. Not only that, though, we are providing new levels of automation. The new auto dimension command increases productivity by automatically creating PMI dimensions for your part and sheet metal components. Plus, users can save custom schemes with tolerances and whole callout strings to standardize the dimensioning process. Dimension checker assistants will automatically check part models to determine if the part is over or under constraint. And dimension checkers color-coded results are displayed both in the graphical area and in an interactive report and highlight constraint levels to identify missing tolerances. Model view palette that I just talked about is one of my favorite enhancements in 2023. Makes it so easy to manage which dimensions are in which views, and you can really visually see how things are organized. Yet, if you still want to create drawings, they can be created very quickly and directly from the model view palette. Just a few clicks or simply by dragging and dropping the model views into them. We've really built out the number of things you can do in annotating your 3D model as well. Text box annotation enables the addition of notes and other information to 3D PMI. Notes and text boxes can be saved to a notes library, saving significant time when adding frequently used notes to 3D PMI or to the drawing. The annotations can also be set to always show parallel to the screen as the model view is rotated. Next, let's look at a new capability being introduced to the Solid Edge portfolio called Solid Edge Inspector. Solid Edge Inspector really lets you save time and money by eliminating errors in inspection. Automatically creates quality inspection data and reports that users can trust while enabling seamless communication in the downstream manufacturing process. Quality inspection is an important competitive factor. Using Solid Edge Inspector makes inspection planning a quick and easy process. Looking at this side plate in the Yanu AI robotic bartender will open the drawing that already has all the relevant manufacturing information defined. Launching Solid Edge Inspector, we can set the tolerance standards required. If needed, multiple tolerance tables can be configured, which can later be applied based on part types. There is also the flexibility to create characteristic numbers using balloons in a quick and easy process. Based on the standards and configurations which have been set here, the default tolerances get applied to the dimensions which don't have specific tolerances defined. These dimensions are highlighted in yellow in the characteristic table. At any time, the dimension class can be controlled to define how critical they are. The inspection balloons can be shown or hidden when required. This inspection information can be exported into multiple file formats, which later can be used in downstream applications. It's also possible to export this information as a separate project file, which can be later re-imported into the drawings. This is very useful in situations where the quality team doesn't have access to the CAD files. It's also possible to to generate inspection reports by choosing a template. These templates can be easily configured for any industry standard. The inspection data can also be easily updated to accommodate any design changes. Here, a change is made to the model and the drawing is then subsequently updated. Currently, we also delete a dimension and add a new dimension. Then a click of a button updates the inspection data. This will add a balloon to the new dimension and updates the characteristic number list with this and all the other changes that were made. The changes like modified dimensions, new and deleted dimensions are captured as part of the characteristic number list. Filters can be applied to these columns similar to Excel. As the design has been modified and the drawing updated, we'll regenerate the inspection report and see the updates. The list shows new, modified, and deleted dimensions. Filters can also be applied to the CN list in order to generate a compare report. This shows only the changes that were made when compared to the previous revision. Solid Edge Inspector also fully supports a model-based inspection process. This means it works seamlessly on the 3D model in an MBD workflow. Just like we saw for the 2D drawing, it is possible to create and edit balloons and generate a report on a 3D model using the PMI dimensions and annotations. Solid Edge Inspector provides a competitive edge by streamlining the quality and inspection process. Right, and I think this is going to be a big time saver for a lot of Solid Edge customers. As you saw, Solid Edge Inspector automatically identifies, labels, and extracts critical design characteristics from a 3D model and drawings. And unique identifiers are assigned that are linked to this design information over the entire life cycle of the part through all changes, modifications, and iterations. Solid Edge Inspector saves users valuable time by automatically identifying and labeling the most important information in up to 80% less time than the manual entry methods. Plus, for increased downstream consumption and better communication with colleagues, the data can be extracted into different neutral formats, including Microsoft Excel. Post-article inspection reports can be automatically generated and essential to effective inspection planning. Post-article inspection reports can assist in locating errors that could otherwise cause issues later in the project's life cycle, saving time and money by catching errors before the product proceeds downstream in the manufacturing process. Next, let's take a look at some of the simulation enhancements in this release. So first, make the most of your mesh. Enhanced capabilities now allow simulation on convergent models. Expansion of body mesh functionality to include assembly and sheet metal simulation reduces meshing errors and accelerates the speed of simulation studies. Let's take a look. Solid Edge 2023 continues to accelerate the design process by providing powerful tools to help digitally validate designs and build better products in less time by front-loading the simulation process. Starting with a generative design study, this will help to optimize the weight and material usage for the caster wheel component. After creating a new study and defining the loads and constraints, new for Solid Edge 2023 is the ability to define the maximum displacement for a point on a given face. This helps guarantee the model model has the appropriate amount of stiffness in a given direction. Also, planar symmetry is a new shape constraint that optimizes the model across 1, 2, or 3 orthogonal planes. This ensures the optimized model will result in the best possible symmetric design. Viewing the results, we can see that both sides of the model are identical due to the planar symmetry constraint. Selecting the show stress option gives immediate feedback on the high stress areas of high stress concentration so that we can adjust our model appropriately. The optimized generative design is a unique hybrid model that combines BREP and mesh geometries, which can be sent directly to additive manufacturing. Moving to structural simulation, Solid Edge 2023 now supports the ability to analyze these hybrid mesh and BREP models. This allows us to easily validate the results of the generative study by applying the same loads and constraints to a new study. Body mesh option, which is now available in the part, assembly, and sheet metal environments, has new options which allow the resulting mesh to be simplified and improved by defining parameters such as the number of points around a circle. In addition to providing a good quality mesh, it also provides automatic geometric cleanup of small faces and edges. After solving, we can analyze the model and see that the areas of high stress match the results we saw during the generative design study. A new check A new check element quality command has been added, enabling us to view and report any poor quality elements created when meshing. There are 14 Nastran quality checks available. Here, we're checking the tetrahedral aspect ratio, or the ratio of the longest and the shortest edge, element edge. Selecting show elements highlights and displays the warnings and error elements in the model, as well as generating a report containing the summary of error elements. A great usability enhancement for SolidEdge 2023 is the ability to reuse an existing mesh. Here, we duplicate our study and bring the mesh with us. We want to test the model again, but with a higher load this time. By reusing the mesh, we are able to save valuable time, not having to remesh the same geometry. This enables us to quickly run multiple iterations of a study, ensuring that design meets all of the study requirements. You can see SolidEdge 2023 further enhances our robust simulation capabilities, saving valuable design time and reducing material and testing costs. So simulation is actually pretty remarkable, what we've shown here with the hybrid mesh capabilities. Although in theory, generative models are created based on the actual part stresses, we find some customers want an extra validation pass using proven SimCenter Nastran solvers. And with our unique Siemens technology, we can mesh a mesh model. So you can perform simulation studies on convergent models created using generative designs and reverse engineering, enhancing SolidEdge's capability to seamlessly incorporate mesh model geometries into the design process. The functionality of body mesh, which frankly is truly amazing and unique to Siemens, has been extended further this release. Originally introduced in SolidEdge 2022 for parts, it has been expanded to support assembly and sheet metal simulations as well. And we continue to build out the core of simulation, the stuff you do daily. So support for duplicating meshes and extensive quality checking has been added. Generative design has received a significant upgrade as well. New generative design commands, planar symmetry, and the maximum displacement constraint give users the ability to do studies faster and more effectively than ever before. Let's get on to technical publications here. All right, it's playing now. So SolidEdge 3D publications, it speeds your process of creating compelling and engaging technical documentation, such as installation, maintenance, and instruction manuals, which are essential to business success and product performance. With a fresh and updated user interface with improved performance and a similar look and feel to Microsoft Office products, creating documents with SolidEdge technical publications is a breeze. The new Pages tab allows for easier navigation of documents. With a thumbnail view available for each page, users can now navigate the document by clicking a thumbnail image to go directly to that page. Also new is the ability to assign rich text to metadata and illustrations. Here, text styles can be fully customized to fit your needs. Animations play an important part in conveying different messages and features in documents, whether marketing or instructional. Here, a new transition editor makes it easier to create custom transitions with user-defined timing for camera movements. Allow part reveals and other animation features. Also, there are two new animation types, flash and fade. Here, a flash animation is being used to highlight the LCD screen, and then a fade animation slowly hides the screen in order to focus on the robo arm and its animation. Also new is the ability to use simplified parts and assemblies, family of parts and family of assemblies in technical publications. For the Yanu instruction manual, we'd like to hide some of the key details on some of the parts in order to protect our intellectual property. To do this, we can easily replace the detailed parts with their simplified representations. This is achieved with the update command, and SolidEdge Publishing then takes care of replacing them on our model. All achieved quickly and easily without having to recreate the document from scratch. With this year's release, users can now define multiple master pages to help with document creation. This provides more versatility in larger documents. Shapes can also add fully actionable items in SolidEdge technical publications. Users can customize them for various purposes, such as switching illustrations, customizing views, or even directing users to web pages. In this page, use the buttons to switch between the different colors of the Yanu AI robot. Documentation can be published to all the latest industry standard file types, including 3D PDF, HTML5, raster, and vector images. Here, the completed instruction manual in HTML format is being published, and the end users can access this information without additional software by opening it in any modern browser. Really, with Solid Edge 2023's technical publications, creating technical documents and interactive manuals has never been easier. So as you've seen, the modern user interface for technical publications makes it faster and more responsive than ever before. And there's just so many enhancements in this product, but some of our favorites: ability to flash and fade parts during storyboard animations, the leader line outlines, improve better contrast and visibility when highlighting content illustrations, and new support for Solid Edge simplified parts and assemblies can significantly reduce the file size of illustrations or technical documentation without sacrificing the intended message or instruction. Next, let's get on to value-based licensing. This is a part of our SaaS subscription and gives you a wide variety of Solid Edge portfolio products without having to buy each individual products. You can just use what you want when you want it, and let's take a look at how it works.
New for Solid Edge, value-based licensing, a flexible licensing option to help you with the challenges of a rapidly changing development environment. This approach allows you to discover new Solid Edge add-on products while increasing flexibility for you and your team. Let's have a look at how value-based licensing works. Starting with the base application, Solid Edge Classic or Premium, value-based licenses offer a fully flexible environment in which users can explore different functionalities. Companies acquire a set of tokens which allow the running of a wide array of applications. Tokens are available in yearly subscription packs that make the add-on products available as a single shareable bundle. Tokens can be checked in and out to allow for maximum flexibility. Each add-on product consumes a defined number of tokens when in use. The total number of applications and which specific applications that can be checked out is limited by the number of tokens users have available. Value-based licensing is even more flexible when combining multiple users, each with their own desktop and set of tokens. Just imagine a worker is confronted with the maximum token limit. By having a joint token pool, the limitation is automatically lifted as he or she is able to claim unused tokens from a colleague. In this context, it's also perfectly possible for users to use the same application simultaneously, as long as the token maximum isn't reached. Value-based licensing gives you the ability to manage cost, discover new applications, and easily scale your business. In many cases, the total investment is less than individual licenses, yet the flexibility dramatically increases, regardless of whether the modules are used daily or occasionally. Value-based licensing, new for Solid Edge, offers a truly flexible, cost-effective, simple-to-scale approach that reduces risk over time and encourages users to maximally explore new possibilities.
So value-based licensing, you're going to really like this. It's a wide array of products that we have here. These are all very valuable products, but you may not use each one of them every day. If you could mix and match these and decide when you want to use these products anytime without having to buy each individual product, I think that's a big win for you. With value-based licensing, you have access to Generative Design Pro, Point Cloud Visualization, Solid Edge Simulation Advanced, and all the others you see here, all available in a single bundle. Value-based licensing is only available as part of the Solid Edge SaaS subscription. It provides a cost-effective and a flexible method for users to run all these Solid Edge add-on products, and it grants access to multiple products through a system of tokens. Tokens are available in yearly subscription packs of 25 or 50 that make add-on products available as a single shareable bundle. Tokens can be checked in and out to allow for maximum flexibility within your company. Users can mix and match the add-on products as needed within their permitted token allowance. It really is the ultimate in flexibility and will give you access to technologies you never thought possible. As presented, Solid Edge portfolio of products supports digital transformation through a powerful, comprehensive, and accessible set of tools. You can, of course, continue to buy Solid Edge in its traditional or perpetual form, or You can buy Solid Edge SaaS with its expanded cloud-based collaborative set of tools and value-based licensing. To learn more about Solid Edge SaaS and the benefits it can provide your company, please reach out to your Siemens partner, such as Saratech here, for additional details. Or you can visit, use this QR code or visit the siemens.com/SolidEdge2023 site for more information. You can also join the Solid Edge Community Forum, where you can explore, share, and learn from other similar users you have at community.sw.siemens.com. Please do get engaged. A lot of us in the R&D and business teams, we monitor those sites and provide useful assistance or help. And of course, our users on that site are a great resource for everyone. And then finally, if you haven't tried Solid Edge yet, or you're not a Solid Edge user already, encourage you to try our 30-day free trial. It's a full access trial of a premium product, and you can access it either at siemens.com/try-solidedge or by scanning this QR code. Today, we've shown you some of the great new capabilities within Solid Edge 2023. Companies like Yanu, Harsh, Shankers, Atlantic, and many more trust Solid Edge to help grow their businesses. Isn't it time for you to take a hard look at 2023? Let's create, connect, and collaborate. And with that, thank you all. We're open for questions, and if there are other questions that you have, we can take some and answer
yes,
some before we
there
move.
were some other questions. Obviously, thank you, Aditya. That was a lot of information packed in the space of about 15 minutes. So obviously, thank you. You did a great job. Again, anyone, if you have questions, feel free to ask. And if you need clarifying on anything that you've seen today, of course, contact us and we'll be more than happy to go into detail. We have very specific training sessions and things that we cover in a lot more detail. So one of the questions that came in was about the MBD section. Can you use the new MBD features with older version Solid Edge files?
Yes, certainly, meaning Solid Edge supports files all the way back to when we started, right? So you can open any of those files up in Solid Edge 2023 and use MBD tools against them. You know, all the model intelligence that we've had forever, they're all available in the files. So yes, so our tools will work against them just as well as new models are. Yeah.
All right. The other question that came in was on the simulation capabilities. Are there multi-physics capabilities as well? For instance, can we simulate fluid flow on a defined structure?
Yes. So Solid Edge has a very popular add-on from Siemens called Solid Edge Flow AFD for Solid Edge. So it's a full CFD fluid modeling. They do PCB modeling of PCBs, heat transfer, etc. A very popular add-on to Solid Edge, built right into the Solid Edge interface. They have an excellent integration with Solid Edge, and all from Siemens. So you can get it from Saratech. So yeah, FlowFD is a great tool to do CFD inside Solid Edge. Yes. Talking about other multi-physics, there are other modules in FlowFD. I think they do electromagnetic simulations, etc. But beyond that, I'll have to find out what other capabilities are built into FlowFD. And I talked a little bit about taking Solid Edge models into downstream accelerator portfolio products, right? So you can explore the whole extent of the accelerator portfolio and take Solid Edge model down into other very specific applications that Siemens might provide. So yeah, definitely all that is available to you today.
Great. Thank you very much. I think that's all the questions we had for your session. Appreciate you being able to pack all of that into such a short amount of time.
Yeah, I wasn't too sure when I timed myself.
Good job. Good job. All right. So I just want to go back to our agenda here. Next, we have Jason West. He will be presenting Solid Edge Design Configurator. But before I transfer the presentation to Jason, I just want to launch a quick poll for everybody. The poll that we're asking for is, are you currently on Solid Edge 2023? So if you just take, 15, 20 seconds to respond to the poll, that'd be great. Thank you, everybody who responded. So out of all of the polls, 38% of you are already on Solid Edge 2023. 33% who answered the poll said not yet, but planning to upgrade. 19% stated that they will wait for the next release to upgrade, and 10% of people do not plan to upgrade to 2023. So those are the results. Thank you, everyone. All right, next we'll have Solid Edge Design Configurator with Jason West. I'm going to make you a presenter, Jason. Welcome.
Taking a look at the agenda here, we're going to look at some of the industry trends, looking at some of the reasons why you would want to use Design Configurator, configure to order, engineering to order, taking a look at an overview, some examples, and taking a look at the interface and a couple of the workflows. So let's get started here. So a lot of the industry is really trying to find ways to maximize and get their products out quickly, but they need to have flexibility and have the ability to go with smaller production runs, but not have the cost normally associated with a one-off or having that design time of having to make changes to have something that's a little more configurable. So taking a look at where the industry's been and where the industry needs to go, trying to understand what is going to maximize profitability, time to market, and that aspect. Design Configurator really lends itself to that if you have a configure to order situation or an engineering to order consideration. Being able to get in there and set up parameters and rules in an easy to use interface that will help maximize that design. So taking a look, as products are developed, everything is becoming more and more complex. Customers are demanding, more options, more choices, kind of have it your way type thought process where, everybody wants something a little bit different. They don't want something that is just off the shelf. They want to configure to exactly the way they want that. So driving that is, how do we build in that variety without adding cost, right? Again, talking about the one-off or low volume runs. How can we maximize that? How do we bring in our teams, right, and be able to collaborate across the platforms? Didier showed, accelerator share and the tools Siemens has to help facilitate that. But looking at how we can take a design, make it configurable, and make it so that the designers have the flexibility to build in changes and options, and then be able to deliver that to sales and ultimately to the end customer as a valid solution. Looking at how we can tie in related features, right? So we're gonna, as we look through this, we're gonna look at some of the tools that are in there, really help identify how we can create rules and reuse features, and then coming up with visualization and analysis through this as well, so we can validate kind of our designs, look at if and statements, and build that into the knowledge that we have and want to be able to use. So again, taking a look at what configured product industry trends are, manufacturers are getting in there with higher levels of customization. And again, we want to be able to have a tool that will lend itself to achieving those goals. How do we manage the BOMs? How do we manage the drawings? We need something that is really going to be able to control all that and make it efficient and easy to use, easy to set up, with a lot of complexity built in, but not having to go in and write code. We want a user interface that's easy to use, understand, that our designers and engineers can use to build these configurations. So looking at a common scenario, right? A customer is going to put out a request for a proposal. That bid's going to come into your organization, and traditionally, you know, there would be a lot of back and forth between sales and engineering. Say, can we do this? You know, what are the cost impacts of it? Maybe we have to get in purchasing. Maybe we have to get into cost accounting because we don't know where those costs are going to be. We want to build a tool that sales one can quickly get in and say, all right, here's all the options we have to configure. This is within scope. We already know what our costs are going to be because we've already kind of worked out that process, and we're able to go out and do that. But today, you know, the bottleneck is that process of identifying, one, can we do it? Two, what are the options? Three, how much is it going to cost us? Now, we also have to add in time for engineering to make the changes to the assembly, make the changes to the drawing, release the packet, and get it out to the floor for manufacturing. And that all adds in cost. And by the time we're done, you know, we may have eaten up a lot of the profitability. And then sometimes during that process, maybe, you know, they've done similar things and they don't necessarily go and talk with engineering. They say, oh, we've done this in the past. We did it for this customer. Maybe not thinking that customer bought, you know, 10, 20, 100 of that, where this new customer is buying one. So you could really, you know, have an issue with your profitability on that. So taking a look at, you know, this is the engineering bottleneck, you know, long lead times, margin erosion, lower win rate, because, you know, it's just taking that extra time to get in there. So now we've got the order, engineering still the bottleneck, going out, making the process. So we want to find a way to increase, you know, our win rate, reduce the time for the proposal to get through. We want to reduce the margin loss. We want to reduce the design efforts, and we want to, you know, get that change through quickly, which will hopefully lead to an order, and we'll be able to close more business. So this is just taking a look at, you know, some of the thoughts of, you know, how can we reduce? What do we need to reduce? How do we need to get in there? And things to think about when we're doing this process, and getting in there and making sure we maximize. So taking a look at the different options here, right? So we're going to look at the configure to order. We're going to look at engineering to order process, right? So we start off with a standard product, right? No additional definition. The order's placed. It's just a part number. It sells. It goes out to manufacturing. It's produced and then delivered to the end customer. Configure to order, right? We have variable products. The customer has set options that they can change. So using a vehicle as an example, do I want a 2-door? Do I want a 4-door? If it's a truck, do I want 2-wheel drive, 4-wheel drive? So we kind of configure these set options to what we're looking for, how we want it configured out of a set book of what's available. Then we've got the engineer to order, right? So this is taking a look at, the customer says, all right, you know, I want this truck, but I want it to be an extra 100 inches longer. Or I want dual rear wheels, right? Things that are not part of the standard design for that product. So we've got to be able to capture that, bring that in, and be able to execute on that to create those orders and satisfy the customer needs. again, what do we have, you know, in each of these areas? So standard products, we're going to have, you know, low complexity, high similarity. So we're going to have, you know, same bombs going across, low part counts, right? Because we already know what we're doing, and maybe we have inventory sitting on the shelf ready to go. Configure to order, so we may have higher part counts because, you know, we have to be able to have these options available, even though they may not sell. You know, higher complexity, higher variability, and then we start to move into the blended of configure to order, moving into the engineer to order. So maybe they're asking for something that's not available. So maybe they're asking for a custom paint color. You know, it's still a configure to order, but we're adding an additional step there. And then we get into the engineer to order, right, where we have high complexity. We don't know what parts are going to be used because they may not have been developed yet. The bombs are going to be different. And then we get into the far extreme, right, where we're creating custom products. So everything's a one-off, everything's from scratch. We're going to focus more on the configure to order and engineering to order side. So taking a look at the overview here. So again, we're looking at the assembly modeling side of our Solid Edge platform here. You know, this is one piece, one tool that builds into the whole collaboration, single source of the truth, and then, you know, working into the mechanical design, the electrical design, being able to go into simulation, manufacturing, and then, you know, ultimately the technical publications, whether it's the drawings for the shop floor or technical manuals. We're going to be able to cover all that. So we're focusing on one piece, which would be on the assembly modeling side, because we want to take a look at configuring our assemblies. So the power of being able to deliver automation into our designs is really where we're going to benefit. So advanced rule-based automation of 3D CAD, easy to use ruling and authoring. So we're going to have a dialog box that's going to pop up that's going to give us guidance on how we want to configure, what changes we want to make, if and statements. So, you know, if we put this 100mm knob on, you know, we only have set number of options after that. So that way it'll start to exclude, as we build it, it'll start to narrow us down into where we can go with that design, and then we can quickly see if it needs to change to an engineer to order, or if it's truly a configure to order. So the challenge is, right, we need to configure new products to meet customer requirements. We want to capture that knowledge so we can reuse it, right? That's one of the key benefits here, is being able to reuse what we've already done. We want to be able to optimize the process, right? So we want to be able to have repeatability. We want to know if we're going to have issues. So if we've gone through a configurator exercise, we know if we put this particular bolt in, then we have to eliminate maybe this feature because it's incompatible with it. So we don't have the issues of, okay, somebody may have missed an option or missed a design change that had to happen because of this configuration. We're going to build all that knowledge in and be able to use that. So how can that help, right? So it's built into Solid Edge, so we're going to be working within the tool that we're already familiar with. The solution's really optimized for the small to medium business, easy to use, easy to deploy. Definitely benefit designers and sales engineers, because the designers are going to be able to get in there and spend the time to make these configurations, understand what changes need to be made, build in the rules. And then the sales engineers are going to have a tool that they can easily get in there, sit down with the customer, say, all right, here's the options we have. Let's run through this. Is this what you're looking for? Great. You know, now we can place the order for this. So it definitely speeds up getting that to market quicker, meeting the customer requirements. We'll have a consistent product design based on rules, right? That's a key there. We're building in rules, so we're building in logic that will help us down the road. So taking a look at, an elevator design, right, manufacturer, right? So their challenges were configuring new products to meet the customer needs. You think about an elevator, right? How many people does it need to hold? How many floors is it going up and down, right? There's a lot of complexity there. To be able to go in and say, all right, I've got a building that's 30 floors. I need to have a freight elevator and I need to have a passenger elevator. How quick traditionally would that take for somebody to sit down and say, all right, I need all this tracking. I have to have so much feet of cable. I've got to have doors on every floor. Panels got to change with the number of buttons for the floors. There's a lot of things that need to go into that. If it's a freight elevator, is there a front door only, front and back door? Does the back door only open on a certain floor? So having a tool to be able to go in and quickly configure that and be able to turn that request for proposal around to the customer so that they can say, all right, this is within budget. I know what I'm going to have. And then being able to, once that order is placed, have our documents ready for us to go out to engineering or go out to the manufacturing floor and be able to manufacture this. Purchasing will be able to order materials based off of that because we already have that bill of materials set up and understand what's going into it. Looking at another case study here, right? So fire door design manufacturer, they need to, again, common theme, right? Meet the customer requirements quickly and accurately. Excuse me. Want to be able to automate the design process, right? So the fire door is a single door, double door. Does it have to have locks to hold it open, locks to close it in case of a fire? Is it automatically closing in case of a fire? There's a lot of things, again, just like the elevator that needs to be in place. How thick is it? What's the fire rating on it? And to be able to turn that request for proposal around and then being able to automate the drawings and have it be able to go out to the shop floor. We know our design is going to be correct because, again, we're working off of rules. So we know that we're not going to miss something as a designer based off of what the customer is looking for. I've got a few more case studies in here. But again, it's the same type of theme that, we're looking at what options do we have and how quick can we get that information to the customer accurately, and then how quick can we get that into production and out on the shop floor and be able to produce that. So taking in not only consideration of how do we get the proposal and understand what's going on to the customer, but we also get an understanding of, what materials are going to be needed. Did we forget to ask the customer a question? Maybe it's some small little design feature. When we're going through the configuration, that's going to be an option that we're going to have to answer. We can quickly relay that to the customer. Hey, are you looking for right hand open, left hand open? Not thinking that how that may affect what's going out to the production floor, but it's going to be answered. We're going to know, and then that packet's going to be able to be delivered. Plus, we'll be able to have, the 3D data, so we can also show that to the customer and present it as the option as well. So taking a look at the interface, right, this is built right into Solid Edge. We're able to go in and, capture the models, collect input fields. So, what do we want to do with this model? Is this model, is there an option that it's going to be a completely different model for a certain configuration, or are we eliminating a whole? We're able to go in and make those definitions and define those actions, and then be able to go and play and configure as we're going through. So again, taking a look at it, being able to select the model part, assembly and drawings, go through the configuration process. The tools are there. We have a tree view, list view. that makes it easy to go through and select those models. So you can see here, and looking at the configuration steps, we're going to go into step 1, step 2, step 3, and walk through consistently and repeatedly how we're creating these configurations. So first here, we're going to look at, we're selecting what components we have. We're going to add that selection to our configurator because maybe we're changing out an item. So we have a nice dialog that's right inside the product. We interact with our model and the design configurator to walk through the process of creating this configuration. So collect and input data field, right? So what are we changing? Here you can see some drop-down rules for functions. Is it a decimal? Is it going to be text that we want to put in there? Is it a yes or no number? Things that you would see like in Microsoft Excel, things that we have learned over the years, and a nice clean dialog box of how we want this data portrayed and filled out, right? So as we're going through, we're able to select, like here, I want to change the value of this, or I want to change the name and add a field. Quickly get in there, change that. So here they're looking at the knob. Is there a color to it? What's the size of it? We're able to go in and define all that, and then pull out our expressions to drive that information and make those changes and be able to update our configuration based off of that, right? So real easy to use. Here, they're looking at building in a list of values. So they have options for what is the ability to have selected. Here you can see they're pulling out the expression. So we want to be able to change that. So it's real nice and easy to use. So if I do an option with 2, an option with 3, an option with 4, these values are going to change, right, based off of that. So just again, the ease and the functionality of being able to walk through and pick up and create these rules in a nice, clean environment. So we can bind things to rules. We can bind the property to rules. We can use simple expressions. We can create conditions. So the if and and, truth mapping rules, being able to apply that, adding in fields. Here, what do we want to set for our property, our material? Do we want to change colors when we change our configuration? Are we adding models, renaming models, removing models? These are all steps in the workflow that you're going to step through and build upon when we're making these changes and working on these configurations. And through this process, it's building up a dialog box. So we can add in pictures. So it'll make it easier for like a sales engineer to go in and say, all right, here, Mr. Customer, let's sit down and look at this configuration. We go through and answer all the questions. We have visual representation of what our models are going to look like, or what questions are we trying to answer for clarity. And then we can go in and create it and look at our model after that, right? So here, we're able to take a look at the dialog. We want to go through the process. We want to pick a certain type of knob. We want to pick a color. And then it's going to go out and build that configuration for us, right? So the customer is going to be able to see it. The sales engineer is going to see it. We're going to have all of our associated drawings for that configuration. So once we do get the order, we're going to be able to push that out to manufacturing, out to purchasing, get our parts ordered, get our parts manufactured, and then be able to deliver that to the customer. So it's a nice, clean, step-by-step guided process. It's a comprehensive suite of tools that we have available to us for making these and getting them out to to the market faster and quicker, especially being able to answer those requests for proposals, right? A lot of us that have had to work in the custom world, working with configurations, modifying for specific customer needs. We need a tool that will get us in there and allow us to work more efficiently, work quicker, set up a lot of the rules so we don't have to worry if we're missing a design element. Maybe we eliminate a design review meeting because we know we've already walked through all the rules. So we don't have to worry about, hey, did I miss a hole? Did I forget an option? Oh, I needed to add this in here, but I forgot to put the mating holes in it, right? We've already walked through that process. We already have that information. Okay.
But again, if you want to take advantage of the powerful capabilities of Design Configurator and you want to learn more, please contact us and we'll be more than happy to walk you through it and maybe even give you an example of how it works with your particular product. So just reach out to us. All right. So next on our agenda, we have Cam Pro for Solid Edge. So now we're gonna go into detail into Cam Pro with Mark Anderson. But before Mark does his presentation, I want to launch another quick poll. And this poll asks that, are you aware that Cam Pro comes with Solid Edge? It's a really powerful tool, as you're about to see. It's almost 60% of people now did not know that Cam Pro came with Solid Edge. All right, thanks for your vote, everybody.
Great. Okay, so as Andy was just saying, Cam Pro is not only available with Solid Edge, but it's free for Solid Edge. So 2.5 axis milling comes with any classic or premium seat of Solid Edge. So it's important that everybody knows that it's free of charge. So before we get going, my name is Mark Anderson. I am a subject matter expert for CAM, Siemens CAM products for Saratech. I've been in industry for about 2.5 decades now in some type of CAM solution, and I've been in Siemens products for nearly 15 years now. So here's an agenda of what we're going to go over. We're going to do the overview of the Solid Edge Cam Pro interface, how they function between one another, the description of the file structure and how it communicates between the two, the associativity factors, the link to Cam Pro on how do we go from our CAD environment to our CAM environment. Then I'm going to do a live demonstration of 2.5 axis milling while discussing the key attributes of this, the enhanced AI, the SMK smart access kits, and auto generation of toolpath. Now, I do have another item on here, it's automation. So there's a piece in Cam Pro that is called feature-based manufacturing. And you saw before where they were talking about model-based definition and the PMI data. And that's going to further touch base on that. And how can we use that data in the manufacturing environment so that we don't have to do things twice, or we can build intelligence into our tooling selection, our operation selection, and we can take what we've already done once, program it into the system so that the next time it encounters that situation, it will automatically understand how to program it. So what we're getting at is we're trying to do things once, teach the system how to understand that, and then to auto generate toolpath from that situation. And that's called feature-based manufacturing. Then I'm going to go through one of the largest attributes of the Cam Pro product that's going to set itself apart from any other third-party CAM software. And that's how do we handle engineering change orders. Now, most of our competitor softwares, the best that you're going to be able to do is create a second program with your new file and then copy and paste things, and hopefully they retain their attributes and you can just automatically generate them. In other softwares, the CAM file is embedded inside of the CAD file. So if you make a change to your CAD file, it automatically updates. That's not the same thing as associativity. That is, CAM file is embedded into your CAD file and it can only use the CAD geometry that's within that file. So that's not true associativity, that's embedded files. So what I'm going to show you with Cam Pro is we have a true associativity to where I can take a CAM file that I've already created, take a revised part, and replace that component and everything update automatically. So let's get into it. So here's a Solid Edge Cam Pro interface. On the left, you see your standard Solid Edge, and on right, you see your Cam Pro interface. So the file structure that you're going to see is when you open a Solid Edge part and then you save it in Cam Pro, it's going to create PRT files. That's just the Cam Pro extension. But there's a full associative link back to the Solid Edge file. So I have demos set up for each one of these, but I'm going to go through my entire PowerPoint first so that I'm not jumping back and forth. So I'm going to go through a comprehensive 2.5 axis milling demonstration. Then I'm going to show you the automation through feature-based manufacturing. And what this slide here shows is it shows the engine that's driving this process. What we're doing is we're asking Cam Pro to interrogate the model, find any PMI data, any features that were created out of the Solid Edge platform, like holes or tapped holes, things like that. All of those attributes and that information comes in with the solid model. So once it's found those features and it's analyzed and it's listed them here in the center column, then we're going to ask it to go a step further and say, look at the tool data library, which you've saved your tools and holders, and then look at the operation library, which is all of the operations that you have available to you within NX. And you're going to say, please pair a tool with an operation to the historical data that you've taught me and automatically program those features. So this part, what I'm going to show you is it's going to interrogate the part, it's going to find the slots, the center hole, the outside hole, and it's going to automatically produce a toolpath off of that. But this is what I'm showing you is out of the box Cam Pro. So I have not done anything to the feature-based manufacturing library to teach it any information. So what you're likely going to see is that it doesn't even have enough data, or it doesn't have the tooling data to complete the process, but you will see toolpath generated. And then the purpose of that is so that I can show you the ease of teaching into the system. So I'm going to show you the full gamut of this process, because it's important to see when you start talking about teaching a system of any kind, most users feel like it's coding or it's something that's too deep and above CAM programming, and it's not within Solid Edge. It's a very nice user interface dialogue that you can walk directly through. And this is the process of our engineering change order. The part on the left is our original part on the right is our revised part. Excuse me. And then I'll show you the replace component command and how we handle the engineering change orders. This is a depiction of that process. This is the replace component dialog box. We simply right click our component, replace component command, browse out to our new component and hit OK. And we just regenerate our toolpath. Okay, so let's go ahead and go in here and I'll show you the demonstration. So you see I have this assembly open in Solid Edge. I'm going to simply hit our nice link right here. So there's a link in the title bar here, but there's also links within the tools over here in Cam Pro. So we'll hit this Cam Pro. It's going to launch out to the Solid Edge 2023 product. Now it's bringing in the entire assembly, and we're going to have to single out the component that we want to create. This is bringing in all pertinent information from Solid Edge for our interoperability assembly updating. If there was something that didn't come in correctly or something that would tell us and it said operation has succeeded. So with this assembly, I'm going to target this one component down here. So it's a 60mm pulley, right click. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to utilize a manufacturing template. So what a manufacturing template is it gets you into the environment of the manufacturing that you're about to do. So if we chose a general template, that's going to give us the ability to do all facets of machining. If we were to choose turning, that's going to put our pieces in position that would be indicative of turning. Our Z-axis would be facing forward to be a center line of the spindle, and the Z-axis. So this particular template is for milling. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to assign a few items. We have to tell it, where are we touching this part off at? This is be our 0 location for the machine tool. Then we're going to say, what is our stock condition? We're saying this is our part that we're cutting to, and what are we cutting it from? For this particular example, I'm going to just choose an automatic cylinder. sorry, let me just fix this. My Z-axis was not correct. There we go. So now when I choose bounding cylinder, it will be on the correct axis and it will encompass the part. Apologize. There we go. So bounding cylinder is going to bound any geometry that you have designated as your part. So now it understands what material it needs to be cut from. So this automatic cylinder for our blank representation is listed in our part navigator. We're going to hide that. So now that we're ready, the CamPro product, it understands what we're cutting to and what we're cutting from. So now many CAM systems, you would sit down and you would start to build your environment. You would say, I have these tools to work from, these pieces of geometry, and I want to use these operations with those tools. Well, with CamPro, you don't necessarily need to program in that fashion anymore. We can program, I call it from the hip because I go as I go. I don't necessarily have to have that construction or constraint of the user having to be able to follow along with the program, what material is left over, where am I starting from? All of that is irrelevant anymore with CamPro because it knows where material is and it knows what has been removed by the previous operation. We call that in-process workpiece. So every operation that we create, there's an in-process workpiece that's developed in the background so that the next operation intelligently cuts the remaining material. And that's how with CamPro we get our efficiency ratings of no air cutting, and we are always using the in-process workpiece from the previous operations. So for an example, I'm going to go ahead and just create an operation. So for this particular operation, I'll choose our planar milling. This is just our standard 2.5 axis roughing strategy. I don't have any tool, so I'm just going to go ahead and create, I'm going to retrieve it from our library. So CamPro comes with an extensive library of tools. And the process that I use is I just retrieve one from the library that it matches the tool that I want to use. So for this particular one, it's going to be a 6mm end mill. So we can preview this. We have all the preview tools to be able to look at, say, well, what tool am I using? We'll choose this 8. There we go. Now, one of the key factors to the tool selection would be, what are these corner radiuses? So we have all these analysis tools at our fingertips that we can go and measure the model or interrogate the model whenever we'd like. So this particular radius is 3mm. So I can use a 6mm tool in this, which is what I chose, 8mm. So we'll remove this to 6. Okay, so now we have this prediction on the PowerPoint. I had made a comment there that said the AI that's running in the background. So the AI it's analyzing what you do as you do throughout every time that you use CamPro, and it's trying to anticipate what you're trying to achieve by your past selections, and it will try to populate these. So without me having a history in CamPro here, it doesn't have much to go off of, but the more I use it, the more intelligence it's going to be. So now I'm going to designate, what am I cutting? We have all these quick tools here for multi-selection purposes. So instead of selection every single item, we have these quick filter tools that we can use. Now I want to tell it that my boundary type is closed. The tool side is on the inside of that feature. And then I'm going to tell it that my floor is the bottom of the part. Very simple. Now you see automatic programming. I didn't hit generate down here. It's because automatic generate is already running. So if I were to change a parameter, automatically generating. If I wanted to give it a depth, a Z offset, auto generating. So we have the capabilities in CamPro to be very, very intelligent if we'd like to be. The creating toolpath, generating toolpath within CamPro, it's very difficult to force the system to be inefficient. You literally have to force the system to go outside of its protocols to be able to create a toolpath where there is no material. And it's meant to be very efficient. So let's look at another toolpath. This toolpath is very efficient. You saw the toolpath that I did before. It required me to select lines. select an area to be cut. So this is going to highlight extensively how intelligent NX is when it comes to blank material to part material. So I'm just going to hit save here so that I can delete this previous, so that CamPro is going to see the entire part and it's going to see the entire blank. Now, I haven't done anything to this. I've simply opened the operation and I've selected a tool. I'm just going to tell CamPro, do what you're able to do. And it will analyze blank to part and create toolpath accordingly. So now what happens if I were to designate materials and say I'd like to cut only this pocket and only this pocket? You'll see that the one toolpath disappears. Now, if I come here and create another operation, remember we are stock aware at all times, and I just tell it to do what it's able to do right now. With my in-process workpiece set to 3D IPW, you'll see that it's not going to do all three of those pockets. It's only going to do the one left, because it's intelligently looking and interrogating the model. So now how do we look at holes within CamPro? CamPro is 100% volumetric, all the same. Milling, holes, it's all the same. Create an operation. I don't know what this hole's diameter is, so we're going to use our analysis tools. So 145 millimeter. So I'm going to create hole making. I'll do a center drill. Now, one of the other features of CamPro is we can create geometry groups, meaning this hole is going to take me 2 selections on screen to create at minimal, center drill and a drill. If this had many different pieces to it, then I'm going to have a selection on screen each independent time I create a feature in that feature. What we can do is create geometry. Tell it that this is a 0.14, 1.4, I'm sorry here, 1.45 hole. Now it's asking me where? That hole. Now all of the attributes and entities of that hole is listed within this dialog. It's 17.5, 50 millimeter. So all of its attributes are listed there. Now if I want to program this, I simply select the group instead of the geometry on screen. So now I don't have to select on screen at all. So if I had 30 of those holes that took 6 tools to create, then this is a much quicker methodology of doing this. And we can do the same with milling. I could have chose these as cut areas and selected them instead of selecting on screen. So this end mill is not the right tool. We're going to go ahead and grab a center drill from the library, drilling, spot drill. Choose this 6 millimeter. Now you're going to see when I go into specify feature geometry here, I see this magenta circle here. What is that? That is the volume of material that center drill can remove. CamPro says that there's logic in the background saying that if my center drill cannot take out 2 diameter or diameter of chamfer, then there's no point in going any further than this, because it's no more efficient or less efficient than just putting my center drill dimple. So CamPro is thinking for us. It's saying this is the most efficient process that can be. If there were more entities within this, if there was a chamfer, a counter bore, they would be listed in this dropdown and we could tackle each one as we wanted to. Or we can just allow CamPro to say, what is next? So if I create an operation, a drill, this time I'm just going to create a drill so you can see how it parametrically is done. So I'm going to create one. I'll do a standard drill. And you just walk through the dialog. 1.45. If we wanted to create a holder, we could do that in the holder tab, piece by piece, step by step, or we can retrieve one from the library. CamPro comes with a vast library of holders too. And what you can do with this is just select one and hit your arrow key. That's going to show you what is closest to your style of holder. Now, when I go in here to specify feature geometry, you're going to see that it says, I can do the entirety of that hole with this tool. Is that what you'd like me to do? Yes. So now you've seen the simplicity of how CamPro programs. Now, one of the other attributes that go into what I said earlier was you don't necessarily have to think about the control of your program anymore like we once did. As a CAM programmer, we once had to sit down and have a list of our tools. What am I doing first? How much material is going to be left? I'm going to approach here. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. That's the thing of the past with CAM Pro. What we do now is we program in any sequence that we want. If this hole was on a step that had to be cut first, it does not matter. We could do that hole first, because the way CAM Pro works is as we program means it's irrelevant to how it's going to be posted on the machine. We come to program order view here, and we physically organize this in the order in which we want to output our program. So if I were to just to come up here and say, I want to do this drilling first, I can do that. And CAM Pro is simply going to adjust all of the attributes of the in-process workpiece before that tool is cut. So if this was at a step, it would say its approach value would go down to the step, and then it would finish drilling. Everything is cohesive, and it will update all on its own. So now let's look at a verify. This is how CAM Pro verifies its toolpath. Now, be careful when I say verify. So verify, we all know in CAM programming that no CAM software speaks Sinomeric, FANUC, Heidenhain, or any of the other controller languages. It speaks the programming software language, CLSF code. That always has to go through a post-processor of some kind to get into machine code. So when we're looking at verify here, we're looking at internal CAM Pro code. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be the same situation on the floor until that translator, which is called a post-processor, is ironed out. Once it's ironed out, then you will see piece for piece. So let's look at this. We have full collision detection. We have gouge checking, tool holder collision checking, interference checking. We have full comprehensive checking capability with the software. Okay, now we have this analysis tool that we can come in, select on screen, no material, no material, lots of material, no material. So we have a great analytical tool here to see where we are at all times. So now, once we get to a stage where we want to see G-code driven simulation, or ISV, integrated simulation and verification, then we would use a simulation kit. So this is an example of a simulation kit. This contains the full kinematic values of the machine tool. It is above and beyond the capabilities of a Vericut solution. With the CAM Pro solution, we have a lot of integral pieces that perform above and beyond an external solution like that. That external solution is a circular solution, meaning you program in your CAM solution, you do your checks and your balances to make sure that you have no collisions or anything like that. But then you output G-code that goes to a third-party simulation software. That software runs through all your checks and balances, and if there is an error, it doesn't tell you where to fix it in your CAM software. You just have to go back, fix it, output, resimulate. With CAM Pro, it's circular, it's straight line, I'm sorry. We build our digital twin up front. So before I even started this file, I would start my file exactly as I showed you. I would add my fixture, add my machine, constrain it, build this digital 3D representation of my exact environment. Then every time I program and I hit generate with this, there's a type of solution that happens that doesn't happen in any other solution. All CAM systems have the ability to search through several solution sets. Meaning, if I program a tool to go a distance and then exit move of a certain type, but it hits an over travel, all other CAM systems don't have the kinematic structure within the CAM system to know that that's even triggered. With CAM Pro, we do. So if we tell it to go straight line, but it hits a limit, it may alter that straight line to a loop to be able to work within those confines. So we're working within a three-dimensional 3D twin environment so that what we see on screen is what's actually going to be seen on real life. And then when you get finished and you program, we do a simulate machine. Now, simulation is based upon the G-code, ran through a CSE driver that is built for your specific machine tool. So now we have our execution view. This is the specific G-code that's running. And we can play, and we see our full kinematic values with material removal. So this is the highest tier of solution set and capability that you can have with the CamPro solution. When you implement your PMI data from Solid Edge, you utilize that PMI data within feature-based manufacturing, and then you utilize the CamPro simulation to ensure your programs have no collisions. You get the most efficiencies out of CamPro. So now let's talk about feature-based manufacturing. Feature-based manufacturing, you've seen how I programmed this. I'm going to delete all of it. And I'm going to let CamPro do all of the thinking for me. And as a programmer for many, many, many years, it's very difficult for me to allow myself to let CamPro think for me. But after time of it proving you wrong, you get very comfortable with the solutions that it comes up with, to where you don't think about, is this correct or is it not correct? The majority of the time, the solutions that it comes up with, or the toolpath style that it comes up with, is correct. A lot of times I have customers say, well, I'd like it to do this. Why would we, I tell them, why do we want to change something that we're unsure of if it is correct, just because we would like to see something else? So a lot of times I find that I'm the one that's incorrect, and I should have let CamPro just do what it wanted to. So now, going into feature-based manufacturing, the only things that it needs is, what am I cutting and what am I cutting it from? So with these two items selected and identified, we can now come into the feature navigator, and we can ask it. We're asking CamPro to interrogate this model and find all of these entities that are predefined within CamPro. So it's found all these different items. Now we're going to group them just for our purposes. So meaning that if I had the example I gave with the group was, I had one group in the dropdown, I selected that one hole. Well, if there was many holes, I wouldn't want one group or one feature, I'd want one group of all the features, and that's what this is doing. It's grouping anything together that can. It cannot be grouped, so great. Now we're just going to right click and we're going to create feature process. We're asking CamPro to take our tool database that we've saved tools to with holders, and our operation database, the feature machining feature navigator, and we're saying put them together and give us an accurate operation that can create these features. So now, as I said, I don't have anything in this. Oh, something was incorrect here. There we go. Let me make sure I'm correct there. Now everything's right. So let's do this one more time. Find the features, create feature process. So you see at the bottom, it's pairing the two databases together, creating operations, looking at the rules of those, and it's saying, what can I do? So it's saying, I am capable of understanding these particular features, and this is the program that I'm able to create off of it. So it is intelligent enough that it knows that no rotating tool can cut this corner due to the conditions in the machining knowledge database. The machining knowledge database has a rule condition that says any corner under 20 thousandths of a radius of 20 thousandths cannot be cut by a rotating tool, and it must be cut by a wire EDM. So it even gave us a wire EDM path. So let's look at it and see what it's given us. And it's not bad for a automatic program that came out of the box with CamPro. This is what you could do this right now with your Solid Edge product. This part is actually a sample part that you can find in your samples and test this out just the same. So now what happens, that's very powerful, extremely powerful. Now let's talk about a different solution for this. Many people see this as an end solution. I try to make sure that my customers know that this is a beginning solution. Once your machinists and your programmers put in a little bit of time to feature-based manufacturing, this should immediately go into quoting. You should be able to provide quotes within 30 minutes of getting a quote, have with up to 75% accuracy when it comes to tooling, materials, speeds, feeds, depth of cuts, machining times, all of that. You could do it with a quick click of a button, and then you could take less time from engineers to say, okay, is this accurate, instead of do the entire thing. So it's a very, very powerful tool. But what happens if this isn't the way that I would like to machine my items? The speeds, feeds, depth of cuts, tooling selection isn't necessarily how we like to machine. All we do is simply reprogram it the way that we'd like to. Object, teach operation set. Now this dialog box is comprehensive. It has everything to do with that operation, your non-cutting moves, how it starts, how it stops, all of the different characteristics. And then we can even go further and say, I want this logic to be used on any type of pocket that has up to a 6 millimeter corner or 3 millimeter radius in the corners, no matter how wide, no matter how long, and up to, if my tool has 10 millimeter of flute, up to 9 millimeter thick. We simply go and change these parameters, instead of saying a direct number, up to this number, instead of a width or a radius, up to this number. Now we're parametric with it, so it can start to understand many different item types fit one type of rule. So it's a very powerful tool. Me personally, I use this even though I don't alter it out of the box, because for Saratech doing contract programming, it does me no good to bake in processes of one particular company. So I leave it out of the box, but I always start with it because it creates my whole groups, and it gives me 80% of my program to where I only need to focus on contour machining or updating some of this information. Extremely powerful tool. Oh, I'm sorry, let me finish. I need to show you one more thing. So now, as I was saying about post-processing, so that is a caveat of all CAM systems that people immediately know that they should pay attention to, because without the correct post-processor, no CAM system will even function. So it's a sore discussion with many customers with third-party softwares on their post-processors. They're not happy with them, they don't get good support, and they're locked in, they can't do anything with them. So with CAM Pro, you have the ability to come to what we call Post Hub. Post Hub is the SMKS kit, Smart Machine Kit solution. So what this does is it allows you to not have to have the capital investment of purchasing a full-on machine tool kit that costs $20,000. You can just buy a small price book item that allows you to download, install, and use any type of post-processor or simulation kit that is in this list. There's levels to this. So there's a 3-axis, 4-axis, 5-axis additive. So if you look through this, it's loading them now. Anything that says free is available to you to use. You can have it, you can alter it, you can use the onboard tools to be able to manipulate it. Anytime that you see one that says SMKS, like this one is, if you have the item, you've purchased the runtime license, SMKS runtime license, you can download any of these tools and run the full simulation, the full post-processing, and as long as you have the SMKS license, they're yours to own. When you let go of the SMKS license, you don't have them available to use anymore. But this is a much more economical solution for many, many customers, especially starting out. So instead of saying, okay, I have this product available to me to use, I'm going to start using it, but have this humongous upfront cost to buy the post-processor simulation kits or build them yourself, you can purchase a small license, utilize them until you get the capital to be able to do that, or continue to use them. So it's a very economical way to get the most out of your tool. Okay. So now we have some questions and answers.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. That's pretty amazing, the power of this tool that comes with Solid Edge already. I mean, you can literally probably sell that package by itself, and I know Siemens does for other tools.
Yes, it is a very powerful tool that a lot don't know that they have the capability to use right now.
Right. So I have one question that came in. Can CAM Pro create a nest of parts so that a router or laser can efficiently cut out several parts at once?
So the second part of that question, yes. The first part, no. The nesting comes out of Solid Edge. So there is a piece of Solid Edge called Solid Edge 2D nesting. And if you create your layout, it can be solid model or DXF. We can then take that into CamPro and utilize a router or laser on.
All right, hope that answers your questions, Matt. Again, if you have any questions on what you saw today and want more detailed explanation, please feel free to contact us, and we'll be more than happy to help you out with that. All right, thank you, Mark. Excellent presentation.
You're welcome.
All right, next we have, so we've covered a lot so far, right? So you saw an overview of all of the updates and changes that is in Solid Edge 2023. We got into details on the Solid Edge design configurator. You just saw an in-depth demo of CamPro for Solid Edge. So now we're going to get into the data management portion. So Jaime Solano is our PLM application engineer. Jaime is going to show you the capabilities and what how to take your Solid Edge data management to the next level. But before I do that, I want to launch a third and final poll, basically asking how are you currently managing design data? Are you using the built-in Solid Edge tool? Are you using Team Center, or are you using some other tool to manage your data? So no one is using Team Center in this group to manage design data. About 63% of you are using other tools, and 31% of people are using the Solid Edge built-in data management. Thank you everyone for your response. All right, Jaime, I'm going to make you a presenter. So Jaime is going to show you, actually the number just changed to 6% after I